Donald Trump's actions are a ticking time bomb for democracy, and we'll get into it all. Trust me, you'll want to stay till the end to hear just how far Trump's ploy has gone and the staggering hypocrisy we're exposing. Now, Trump's indecency was on full display when a comedian his team hired referred to Puerto Rico as a floating island of garbage. In response to the offensive remark, President Biden firmly stood in solidarity with Puerto Ricans.
And just the other day, a speaker at his rally called Puerto Rico a floating island of garbage. Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of seen as unconscionable, and it's un-American.
Biden's response was spot on, especially given that Trump's inciting violence, emboldening hate groups, and endangering already marginalized communities. Instead of Trump showing any remorse for the messed up joke or for ongoing false, dehumanizing claims about immigrants that are literally putting families' lives at risk, Trump responded solely to Biden by dressing up as a trash collector in an act of pure pettiness. Yet the irony here is staggering. Trump has long used terms like scum and keeps calling Democrats the enemy from within. He's spoken of deploying the military against his political opponents. This isn't just about Trump's hypocrisy. It's about Trump's escalation of rhetoric that threatens the very foundation of democratic rule. Take a listen.
I want to play this because I think it's very instructive what you're talking about. Okay, Joe Biden said what he said, but this is Donald Trump all along.
My response to Joe and Kamala is very simple. You can't lead America if you don't love Americans. You just and you can't be president if you hate the American people. And there's a lot of hatred. It's the people that surround her. They're scum. They're scum. And they want to take down our country. They are absolute garbage.
Any Jewish person that votes for her, especially now, her or the Democrat Party, should have their head examined.
It's the enemy from within. All the scum that we have to deal with that hate our country, that's a bigger enemy than China and Russia. Any African American or Hispanic, and you know how well I'm doing there, that votes for Kamala, you got to have your head examined because they are really screwing you.
This is the reality of the race that we are in. It's not in a vacuum. And Trump he's just not the poster child for respecting people on the other side of the aisle.
We all know that Biden did nothing wrong. Trump's stunt is all about distracting from issues that truly matter. The danger lies in Trump's repeated calls to retaliate against those who oppose him, to label Democrats and others as a bigger enemy than China and Russia. Now that crosses a line. He's implying that these groups, fellow Americans, are a threat greater than foreign fascist adversaries. When Trump weaponizes words against half of the population, it sets a deeply dangerous precedent. We already saw what happened with the January 6th Capitol attack. We also need to remember that there's a slew of former Trump advisors ringing the alarm, calling him not just a liar or unfit, but a fascist.
Retired four-star General John Kelly, who was one of Donald Trump's White House chiefs of staff, told the New York Times Donald Trump would rule like a fascist if reelected. Kelly also spoke to The Atlantic's editor-in-chief Jeffrey Goldberg for a new piece which quotes Donald Trump as once having said, "I need the kind of generals that had." Goldberg is also moderator of Washington Week with The Atlantic here on PBS and joins us now. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
So John Kelly confirmed to you that Trump had said he wished military leadership showed him the same kind of deference that Nazi generals showed him during World War II, people who were totally loyal to him that followed orders, Trump is quoted as saying. Walk us through that part of your reporting.
Well, you know, we've known for several years from other reports, background reports mainly, that Trump, particularly in moments of high tension, think the 2020 George Floyd unrest, has expressed frustration that in a democracy, generals can't just be ordered to do things that they consider to be illegal or immoral. He had a frustration with, obviously, the generals he had hired into his cabinet, Jim Mattis and so on. But he also had frustrations with the Pentagon itself. And so these expressions of desire to be more like and have Hitler's relationship with his generals came out in these moments of tension. And again, especially around that George Floyd area where Trump has been cited as saying, why can't you just go shoot them?
Trump's stunts and rhetoric aren't just petty. They're pushing us away from democratic principles and towards an authoritarian vision where opposition is seen as treason. Biden was right to say that those who support Trump are garbage, because as we know, Trump's support base includes a significant faction of neo-Nazis and far-right extremists, individuals willing to go to any length to dismantle our freedoms and roll back essential human rights.